What do you do when you are pro-Israel and your kid is pro-Palestinian? About 2 weeks ago, I started a new video series and asked my viewers to send me links of videos they'd like me to debunk. I received an email from someone who is pro-Israel and his son is pro-Palestinian. He said his pro-Palestinian son had sent him the video I'm about to show you. I will say this, there are a lot of cases like this. Usually, older generations tend to support Israel, while younger ones tend anti-Israel. This is a generational gap. Before I show you the video, let me just say this. Don't waste your precious family time arguing about Israel and Palestine. It is just not worth it. Use your family time for fun things. If you can talk about this topic respectfully, great, continue. But if it just causes fightings and tensions, let it go. Good family relationships are more important than anything else. And trust me, I'm an influencer. I know what's good for you. If you want more tips for perfect family life, leave a comment below. But now, let's start debunking this video.
Hello everyone. Today I'd like to talk about the ongoing events in Palestine. Now, talking about an ongoing event isn't all that usual for me on this channel, but honestly I've found it hard to focus on anything else recently, which I'm sure a lot of you will understand. So instead of me wallowing in my thoughts, I'm going to share them with you in this video. I can remember the exact point when I started to really think about the Israel-Palestine conflict. It was seeing this picture taken in 2014 by Middle East correspondent Alan Sorensen. In it, a group of Israeli civilians can be seen on a hilltop overlooking the Gaza Strip. They'd brought chairs to watch as the Israeli military bombed Gaza as part of Operation Protective Edge, and they were clapping when the bomb blasts were heard. This is behavior that was documented by the New York Times, ABC, The Guardian, and other news organizations. Before this point, I had a very naive and simplistic view of the Israel-Palestine issue.
Israel is watching and cheering as the IDF bombs civilians in Gaza. And there is the picture. How do you justify this? Before I respond, I should say the video is by a British YouTuber named Sean. He doesn't show himself in the video. He's a leftist. His channel has 73 videos. I will get back to why that's important. And personally, I will say it is pleasant listening to him. He makes valid points. The last video I responded to was a political science professor from Texas. And honestly, it was embarrassing to hear what he had to say. Sean is on a different level. So what is this photo? It was nicknamed Sderot Cinema. It was taken on a hill in Sderot, the Israeli city closest to the Gaza Strip. In the past 20 years, thousands of rockets have been launched at it from Gaza. Two things are important to understand. When Gazans fire at the city, they are aiming to hit civilians, not military bases. Their goal is to kill as many Jews as possible. Sderot is not a settlement. It has been part of Israel since 1948. That doesn't matter to Gazans, of course. Their goal is the elimination of all of Israel. It is critical to understand that Gaza has launched thousands of rockets at this city with the intent of murdering Israeli civilians. There is barely a street in the city that hasn't been hit. And even after Israel withdrew from Gaza, leaving not a single Jew behind, the rockets continued. There is a hill at the edge of the city from which you can see Gaza. From there, you can watch both the rockets being fired at Israel and the IDF's airstrikes in Gaza. Many news reports are filmed from that very hill. Is it the safest place to be? No. Is it the smartest thing to do? Probably not. But if you live in a city that has been bombarded with thousands of rockets, some people will naturally want to watch the army striking back. If that one photo shattered your worldview probably wasn't very well formed to begin with. And completely contrary to what Sean claims, Israelis are not celebrating civilian death. They are cheering the army hitting rocket launch sites, weapons factories, military targets. Are civilians killed? Yes, but that's because Hamas fires from civilian areas and uses civilians as human shields. One of the hallmarks of Sean's video, and we are only in the first minute, is that Sean removes all responsibility from the Arab side. I will return to this point later. You know who does celebrate the murder of civilians? The Palestinians. I have videos from Gaza on October 7th showing thousands of Gazans dancing in the streets as a truck drove by carrying the bodies of Jews and bleeding girls who were kidnapped from a party. I have a responsibility, so I won't show it. Those images will scar your soul. But I will play an audio recording from October 7th, a phone call between a Gazan and his parents in Gaza. It says more than enough.
الو يابا يابا انا قاعد بكلمك من جوبا بسيم. افتح الواتس تبعه قول له وين شوف كيف القتله، شوف كيف قتلك بيدي يابا، ابنك قتل يهود، هاي دخل بسيم يابا. الله اكبر، ربنا يحميك يا رب، ربنا يحميك يابا، ربنا يحميك يابا. قاعد بكلمك من جوال يهوديه قتلتها وقتلت جوزها. الله اكبر، الله اكبر ولله الحمد، الله اكبر ولله الحمد. يابا افتح الواتس شوف كيف قتلت يابا، افتح بتدفع عليك واتس قول له وين بروح. ربنا بالسلامة يابا، انا بسيم يابا، يابا والله 10 قتلت، 10 بيدي يابا، يابا على ايدي، اعطيني امي، اعطيني امي. يما يما يحميك يما، طول الليل 10 بيدي يما، 10 يما بيدي قتلت. ربنا يرحمك بالسلامة يما، ربنا يرحمك يابا، بعمل لك تبث مباشر من جوا افتح. شايلك يما، طول الليل انت وانت معاي يما، ربنا يحميك يما. محمود يابا محمود انت وين؟ انا جوا مفلسين عليه، جوا قتلت 10 يا عليه، 10 بيدي، قاعد بكلمك من جوال يهوديه. قتلت 10 والله. وانت بذكير؟ انا مفلسين عقبال ما صرت تكاري، انا اول سكره بدات بفضل الله عز وجل. انا اقول لك ارفع راسك يابا فوق ارفع راسك يابا. انت في نص سكاري جوا انت؟ جوا على المدينه. في النص سكاري جوا؟ شفت على الواتس شوف كيف الخطه قتلكم على الشوال، شفت على الواتس تبعي. خلاص ارجعوا خلاص ارجعوا. ايش ارجعوا مش رجعوا؟ اما النصر اما الشهاده، امي ولدتني عشان هذا الدين على مالك على وين ارجع؟ محمود.
Of course, there was no condemnation in Gaza because he represents the majority. Let's see if you can find one audio clip of an Israeli calling his parents overjoyed, telling them he murdered 10 Arab civilians, and the Jewish parents responding, God is great, with that kind of joy and excitement.
I had a very naive and simplistic view of the Israel-Palestine issue. I thought I understood it as a conflict between two religious peoples who had competing claims for the same area of land and occasionally killed one another over it.
You're wrong about your understanding of the conflict. It is not a conflict between two religions over a piece of land where they sometimes kill each other. The conflict exists because the Arab and Muslim world refuses to accept the existence of a Jewish state, of any size, under any conditions. That is the real reason. It is why Arabs said no to every compromised offer. It is why the Arab leaders in mandatory Palestine were in Nazi Germany in the 40s, even before Israel was founded, calling for the extermination of Jews in Israel and in Arab countries. It is why Iran and Yemen, countries thousands of kilometers from Israel, with countless problems of their own, still call for the destruction of Israel.
But I also understood that for some reason, Israel was supposed to be the good guys, the morally superior ones, allies of the West in the Middle East.
Here you are actually right. Israel are the good guys, and Israel is an ally of the West. I will do a follow-up video diving into all your claims. But what matters most is the big picture, and you have touched on it. What are the core values of the West? In my opinion, democracy, women's rights, and freedom of speech. And these are the values you will find in Israel. The test is simple. If you can go to the main square and protest the government and the dominant religion, whether it is Judaism, Christianity, Islam, or communism, then you are part of the West. And like Jim Morrison said, The West is the best. But you, Sean, you won't find those core values in Muslim countries. And you know what else you wouldn't find? Criticism of Muslim states and Muslim societies on leftist channels like yours. And I think that's interesting. Out of all of Sean's dozens of videos, there are videos about women's rights, trans rights, videos against the right wing, against conservative groups, but only one video against a country. Guess which one? Of course, Israel. I made a video about the strange connection between the left and the Muslim world. I will link it below. On the surface, there shouldn't be no connection. The left is supposed to support gay rights. And you don't want to be a lesbian in almost any Muslim country. But what links the left and the Islamic world is their shared hatred of Israel. The left is better at hiding its anti-Semitism because it controls the narrative and the language. Think about it, Sean. If you were a fair and honest leftist, your videos about the Middle East would be about LGBTQ rights or women rights in Muslim societies. If you wanted to talk about war, you could easily pick the worst war currently happening in the Middle East, the war in Yemen, where there is real famine and hundreds of thousands have died. You could talk about the war in Syria, where 10 times more people have been killed than in the Israeli-Gaza conflict. You could analyze why the Arab Spring failed, or the Islamic Winter that followed, which killed 1.5 million people in the last decade. You could discuss the Sunni Shia war that's taken over 1 million lives in recent decades. But you chose Israel. I've only had time to respond to the first 2 minutes of your video. I still have 85 more to go. I will do that in the next videos. If you're still watching, I guess this interests you, so please subscribe. One small click for you, one giant leap towards 500,000 subscribers for my channel. Thank you to all my supporters. You keep me going. Spend some quality time with your family. See you in the next video. Yalla bye.